Okay.
Okay. So just to begin, you grew up in Long Island, New York, not exactly the country music capital of the world, and the daughter of a legendary jazz musician as well. So how did you discover the country music, which is very much an influence in your work?
Well, I think that mainly like it happened on TV. There was a show that was on every day in the afternoon, the Mike Douglas show, and he used to have like a co-host, like a celebrity for the whole week. And one time he had Loretta Lynn, and that's kind of what really inspired me to seek out country music, which was hard to find then when you went to the record store in Smithtown where I grew up. They had like country music section like that big or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's kind of what started it. And, we would hear it on the radio when we were going to my dad's family's home, in Mississippi. We would go down there a lot in the car. So, we'd go through states and hear it and stuff. But I really think that Loretta Lynn was the spark,
Right. So Loretta Lynn kicked it all off. Who were some of the artists that followed after that really got to you?
What?
Who were some of the artists other than Loretta that really got to you?
When I was a kid, oh my God, there's too many. But like when I was a kid, I'd look at my parents' record collection, and I used to listen constantly to like 1930s Billie Holiday stuff, but oh my God, there's too many. Pop music, tons of country music, and then singers that do the American Songbook, like I like Dinah Washington. I like this woman, Jerry Southern. And I liked a lot of country artists in the 70s. I really liked Gary Stewart for some reason. I really liked him. And gosh, I probably should have prepared more for that question.
No, that's fine. Well, just in general terms, what do you think it was about country music that really appealed to you as a young girl?
Well, I liked the singing, first of all, and I think it was also seeing her like speaking every day. And, I just thought it made me really pay attention to like her songs and stuff. And I like the humor. I like the wordplay. I like the tempo, just something about the I don't know. It just seemed really natural for me. And I liked that you could be kind of, you could really be, almost, I called my band the Maudlins because it was like, I was writing songs and I like to, they're based in, real feelings, of course, but I like to kind of maudlinize them, kind of like, because I thought that was what was one of the great things about country music is a lot of people would say, oh, maudlin's a bad word, but it's not in my book. I thought I liked that I could play with that and make it more, kind of more dramatic, more, I'm so lonely, I kind of reveled in that,
Talking through those early musical projects of yours, the Maudlins and later on Parlour James, were you hoping either of those would be more long-term than they actually were, or were you always destined to pursue that solo path, do you think?
Well, you mean like Parlour James? Like,
yeah.
That was like a real, we should write about that someday because that was a big, an interesting 1990s, like the end of an era kind of record company story. But yeah, because we really kind of thought we were gonna, we got great reviews on our first record, and we really thought that. But then Sire bought our Discovery Records that we were signed to, and they didn't drop us. But then, anyway, so I guess we thought that was going to last longer. But at the same time, the weird thing is that it all came together at the same time for me. My solo career, my first solo release happened, coincided with the first Parlour James record. So I kind of, when Parlour James sort of the rug got pulled out, then, I focused on my solo stuff,
Talk about your dad a little bit, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yep, I had the honour of interviewing him once many, many years ago. Was there a point in
Mhm.
time when you were growing up when it really began to dawn on you what a significant figure he was in his chosen field?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It was just so, he was just so not, people would be like, oh, your dad's famous. But where I was from, if you said your dad was a singer, they would think he was like, Jerry Vale or something, Vic D'Amato, I don't know. But, it was like, but there wasn't, I didn't feel like he was famous. But I suppose when, like, I remember being in high school and Bonnie Raitt, took him on tour. And, I thought, wow, that's, but he also didn't bring people home much. He was kind of a loner. And when he was home, he was with us, and when he was on the road, he was with, musicians. But he was always pretty into his own thing,
When you started pursuing music yourself, was he ever forthcoming with career advice?
He'd say things like, don't ever go to Europe without a contract. He'd say stuff like that, or he would be like, he would tell me, you need a good drummer, like, or like you need, he would always tell me I needed better musicians. And I'm like, Dad, but I got to pay him. And he goes, well, you need to get paid. And, he didn't say it like that, but, and so he would, but he always, I think I think he liked that he thought I was unique, and he thinks that's like the best thing probably is just to be, natural, like, and so I think he liked that about me. And he always thought I was talented from the time I was little. He would tell me, can you sing that? It would be a weird interval, like, and he'd go, wow, you got a good ear, stuff like that. But not really. It was such a different time when I was doing, so it was such a different arena, where I was versus where he had been and was, that it kind of almost didn't translate,
What about when you're developing your songwriting? Did you ever run songs by him for assessment?
Yeah, but I think I was always, not really. I didn't really. I mean, he would like, I would play him something and he'd be like, yeah, that's a pretty song, or like, and there was a couple of songs that he really liked because he liked the lyrics. He thought they were funny. He always complimented me on my voice. But
so any aspect of your songwriting that you feel you've inherited from him?
Yeah, I would say, humor. I think the kind of humor, the kind of pithy. I like to, I don't know, I feel like my humor is similar to his. I do, and so. And also my dad liked country music. I mean, he recorded like Lefty Frizzell and Hank Williams.
Yeah.
He did some covers and stuff. But I think mainly my humor and also maybe my singing style just being kind of like the way I sound, without any affectation or anything. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think probably also because you were pursuing a different field of music that he was known for, that probably took a little bit of a weight of expectation that may have been upon you if you were going down the same musical path.
You mean from him or from other people?
From people, yeah, fans of his.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I think I probably, if I had been doing something like jazz, then I probably would have gotten like opportunities, But I think it's because I was, those worlds almost like jazz and country. It's almost like, a lot of jazz people don't really like country. A lot of country people don't like jazz.
I like
so
jazz,
it's like, it's a little bit, but musicians like both. I mean, if you know anything about music, you like both, and they're, you know, you can actually see how there is connection, you know. So I don't know. I just had to do what I wanted to do, you know, and whatever people thought of it, you know.
Mm. So New York, not being a country-minded city, music-wise, was it playing live in New York in those early days? Was it tough to find an audience initially, or even like-minded musicians that would go down that path?
Well, the funny thing is, there was a big country, alt country or whatever, in the Lower East Side in Manhattan, in the East Village. So in the 80s, when I started, there was actually a pretty big group of artists who were playing there, and there were places like the Rodeo Bar and, like, you know, all these. So there was like an alternative country scene that but I started, my first show was at like a performance space, and you know, so we were kind of, I did a lot of, like, it was on a bill with, like, bills that were for performance art and stuff like that, which is also really big. So but there was a crowd for country, I would say, in New York, but, you know, it was very specific, like, you know, area, and, you know, there was a lot of other stuff going on as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Never been tempted to relocate to a city where country music is more prevalent?
Yeah, I mean, I did, and I had people telling me, "Oh, you should come to Nashville," and did it, but you know, I this is terrible. I'm going to say it though because it's funny. I was singing at the Bluebird.
Mm-hmm.
I did in Nashville, and I actually was singing like my kind of slightly irreverent, funny, you know, song stuff. And this woman came up and she was really nice. And she gave me her card and she said, you know, please give me a call. I love your songs and blah, blah, blah. And I took her card and she goes, no, she gave me her card and she says, the Lord is with us. And so when she said that, I was kind of like, I don't think this is going to be the right fit for me, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to see, now this is going to get me in trouble because I don't want to, but I got worried that, you know, New York is very, like, you know, whatever. And I'm from Long Island, and I didn't want to be feeling like I had to act fit a certain mold, you know? I didn't want to do that. Plus, you know, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I think I should have given it a little time, but, you know, tried that. But I'm just stuck here. I'm stuck in New York. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
We might just take a little break here and take in a song from you if you're all set and ready for that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you, I did the last album I recorded is called Pop Tunes in the Setting Sun. Do you have that? Or have you
that was
heard
one
it?
from last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is the first song on that record. And it's about when I lived in Memphis. When I got married really young, and we lived in Memphis for 9 months or so. So before Sheffield, you mentioned. Sheffield was after Memphis. My Memphis is a blue plate special for under $5. My Memphis is the arcade diner and the antenna club. I ain't been back for a while since my grandmother's gone. I hear my dad used to come here to get away from the farm. I'm a stranger in my own hometown, and a stranger here too. I'll have the blue plate special or some barbecue. My Memphis is a lonely pale stream without a sound. My Memphis is a song half written, and my wedding gown. We got married on Christmas Day, drove down from Memphis on a lost highway. Something borrowed, something blue. Memphis is Mississippi too. Solo. Oh, sorry. Stax Records and the Rendezvous, Lemon Icebox Pie and you. Shade Tree Mechanic is number one. Pop tunes and the setting sun. My Memphis is a great, great special.
Beautiful. Lovely song. That.
Okay. I'm a little croaky, a little froggy, croaky, but pushing through.
You received high praise from Elvis Costello for your debut solo set, and it's citing something he cited as one of these 500 essential albums or something like that. I think it was.
Yeah, that was in Vanity Fair. I guess it was in 2001 or something. It was a while ago, but I can't remember how I found out about it. But somebody told me, yeah, he has 500 essential under A. So it's pretty close to the top. So that was, it was great. So he's been great. He's been like a champion for me, because I mean, he sent one of my songs, Her Hair Was Red. He was the one who sent that to Emmylou Harris, and she recorded it on an album with Rodney Crowell. So that was great. And he's really been a good friend to me. I send him things and he always answers, and he's a lovely guy, really.
So I guess back then, to receive that sort of public validation from someone of his status must have given you a great confidence boost.
Also, he was my idol. I mean, really, like I loved him so much. And I remember thinking, when I was listening to country, I said, I bet he likes country music. I bet, because he's such a wordsmith and all that. And then sure enough, he ended up, making that record. And anyway, so he was kind of like, it's kind of like your idol then, so yeah, it was big. It was big for me.
Other supporters of yours have been the guys from They Might Be Giants. They've been big supporters of yours through the years as well. And you've recorded with them as well. Tell us about how that connection came to be.
Well, we were sort of on the same circuit on the Lower East Side, but we played some of the same places. Like, there was a pretty lively club scene, like in the East Village and in New York then. I did several shows on the same bill with them. Mm-hmm. And then they asked me to sing on that Fingertips song on Apollo. Is it 19 or 18? 18,
the
album, yeah. Mm. But and I did John Flansburgh there's a label. What was their label? They had this little label where the CD of the Month Club they would put out. Yeah. And right. And I remember I did a version of the song Toyland for their Christmas edition. And I just found that recently, and I was like, wow, that's cool. Anyway, so yeah.
So your music hasn't always had that strictly country bent to it. Your third album, for example, No Frills Friend, was recorded in Scotland, and that was sort of a drift away from the traditional country's feel. Did you feel you needed to go to a location outside of the United States to record that one?
No, it wasn't thought out at all. It never is for me. It's like what I did is I went, this, this guy is now like a really great friend of mine in Scotland, not Davey, the one I did the music with, but this other guy, Lindsay, who's like this amazing connector. He's a huge music fan. He used to have a fanzine. He wrote to me, emailed me, and he said, why don't you come over? Amy Rigby's doing some shows and you could open for her. And I was like, okay. So I did that. And then, and he sort of set me up with David Scott from Pearl Fishers to play. And I think he was also accompanying Amy. And so we had a good time doing that. We just did a few shows, and I think maybe Lindsay, the friend, suggested, why don't you record with Davey? And I didn't know anything about him. It was just completely blind faith. And I remember when I got there, I was like, I don't even know how this stuff's going to turn out. If it's going to be anything that I like. But he's, I feel like a really strong bond with David, we just did a Badfinger song for a Badfinger tribute album.
Oh, really?
And we did it all. He built the track and I did the vocals, and over here he did it there, and it made me think, oh, I got to work with him again. We also did, I don't know, I feel like but I have to, did you see the album that the two of us made together? I'm not the ones that he produced two of mine, but the one that we collaborated on. It's Amy Allison and David Scott, and it's called Turn Like the World Does.
That was about 10 years ago, that one?
Sorry?
That was about 10 years ago, roughly, from memory?
No, it wasn't 10 years ago. I'd say it was, oh my God, it could be. Could it actually be? I mean, maybe so. That's crazy.
Yeah, it gets away from you.
So I want to get working back with him, and it worked so good. We didn't even talk. He just like sent me the track. I did the vocals. He mixed it. It's like I think we just have a good connection.
Good connection. Yeah. Well, talk about your songwriting in general. What aspect of your songwriting do you feel most confident with, or for want of a better term, what's your strongest aspect of your writing, in your opinion?
Oh boy. That's a really tough question. I don't know. I mean, it's, I think some of my songs I look at like they're perfect. I don't know how that happened, but I mean, I think I will say that even if I don't, it's not even that it's being great. It's just that, wow, I did that one just right. There's like, it's a combination of, the words, but the words have to be, they have to go, the melody and the words have to complement each other. The music has to convey the feeling, I don't know. It's, I think I'm a good lyricist. I mean, I have written lyrics for other people, and, but, I'm a singer, so I don't even use an instrument when I compose. It's all in my head. So,
okay.
Maybe that's kind of a unique thing, that it's kind of like formed in my head. Now that I play the guitar badly, I can pick up the guitar and sort of like come up with some stuff, but mostly it just happens in my head, like when I'm walking around or something.
So if you are writing that way, just in your head, do you tend to generally not leave a song until it's finished, or can you walk away from a song and come back and finish it another time, or do you generally write in one sitting?
No, I do. The thing that you really want is like the spark of a song. If I get like, it could just be like the most simple thing. And if I get that, then I know I don't even have to write it then. I know it's going to be a finished song, because I believe so much in the initial, but I have lots of songs that sit around for years and years and years. And I don't know why I don't record it. Maybe there's one word or one line or just, I don't know, that and then I go back to it and I tweak it a little, and then it's like, that's all it needed. And then, so that happens.
So the editing process can be pretty stringent.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying not to be anal about it, because then you can tell, you got to let a little bit of, but yeah, I would say. And sometimes and anyway, I'm going on too much I'm in the weeds here. So anyway, but.
One of the ultimate compliments for a songwriter is to have other artists cover your work, and that's happened to you numerous times. Any particular covers that mean most to you?
Oh, well, Laura Cantrell doing The Whiskey Makes You Sweeter, that was a big, because that was a Scottish label, and that was probably part of like why I ended up going to Scotland, come to think of it. I mean, no, though, I don't think so exactly, but it definitely was a boon. Like when I went there, it was, I was introduced as, and I actually did shows with Laura. I think, I can't remember. I think I did.
And
in the UK.
Even your dad recorded one of your songs at one point. That must have been a really special feeling.
Yeah. He was determined to do one of my songs, and yeah, I remember he liked that line. He said, I guess he felt like it rang true or something, but everybody thinks you're an angel, but you're a devil. You can't fool me. But yes, he did. And I've had like a couple of friends do beautiful versions of stuff, like Mark Lerner, and oh my God, I don't want to. It's Christy Rose did one. She's from Nashville. She's in Nashville, and I wrote a few songs with Laura. I helped her write a few songs, and of course she put those on records. And so I feel like I might be leaving something out, but anyway, what are you gonna do?
That's right. We might put you to work one more time before we let you go, if you've got your guitar still handy there.
Yeah. I'll do the one I was just thinking a minute ago.
Okay.
It's called Anywhere You Are. When I think of you, any thought will do. Anywhere you are is where I am. I close my eyes and then I'm in your arms again. Anywhere you are is where I am. Since you went away, I get through the day, knowing you're somewhere, breathing the same air, and as the sun beats down on you, I can feel it too. Anywhere you are is where I am. It's crazy, but it's true. The things your thoughts can do. Anywhere you are is where I am. Why does the mind contrive to keep what's dead alive? Anywhere you are is where I am. Now the sun is setting, I have no regrets. All I feel is love for the moon above as it's beaming down. I can see it too. Anywhere you are is where I am. And though you're out of sight, I'll be with you tonight. Wherever you are, underneath the sky. Stars may tumble down, worlds may spin around. Anywhere you are is where I am. Anywhere you are is where I am.
Lovely. Inspired choice.
I should have done Sad Girl. That's my signature tune. Oh well.
Never mind.
Anyway, yeah.
Your singing voice, it's quite distinctive, and I love it, and it's as real can be. But has it amused you over the years, or even annoyed you at times, that the music critics and reviewers have placed such an emphasis on your singing style?
Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, I think a lot of it is like the, I have a whole theory about it. Also, I went to a voice coach and she said, "You're not nasal at all." She said, "It sounds that way to people because it's bright. It's like it resonates a lot. It's resonant or something." But we did a whole test and it showed that anyway, I just think it's funny because everyone is like that, says that I'm nasal and pinched. And it's like, no, it's just the way I sound. And I think that a lot of male critics didn't think it was sexy or something. So they had to like put it down because, I wasn't kittenish and, sultry and, breathy and stuff like that. That's my personal.
Yeah. Another thing that
take it or leave it.
Another thing critics seem obsessed with is in your work, the subject matter of your songs being dark and bleak. Has that bothered you at times too? Have you sometimes bothered you to the point of consciously trying to avoid that?
No, I mean, but my stuff, it's not depressing. I don't think it's always got a tinge of humor or hope in it. It's like, I mean, it's just, I just try to be real. It's like, I think a lot of other music is way more like, ponderously morose, and like, and self, involved and stuff. I don't think that I'm as angsty as that at all. I think that there's a lightness, I think. I don't know. But, and humor goes a long way. It's it doesn't take away from anything of serious note, but it I think it's what we use to to help us through. So
absolutely, for sure. Now, releasing a new album last year, I guess in the world that we're in at the moment, it would have been pretty rare opportunities for you to get out there and perform the new songs live. Is that starting to open up over there now?
Yes, but I did a couple of guest spots with people, who had booked shows. I just haven't done it yet. But I will. I intend to. I will. I'm going to, like, tomorrow. I mean, I got to get on that because yeah. And I'd love to go to Australia. So no, I'm kidding.
I'd love to see you down here.
Do people know me a little bit there? Am I a little known? Or really? No, oh, that's really nice to hear. Do you must know Greta Gertler.
Greta.
Greta Gertler? She's from Melbourne, and she's like this, a beautiful pop arranged stuff that she does. And she lived in New York for a long time. And I don't know where, I'm not sure. I think she's still I'm not sure where she is now, but she's from Melbourne.
Oh, look, we've got a wonderful festival season down here, which is pretty much around this time of the year every year, and you'd fit in beautifully. So we've got to get you down here.
Yeah, down under. Sorry, I had to say it.
Have you been doing much writing during the lockdowns?
I have a full-time job that's really stressful. I was an essential worker.
Oh, wow.
Because I work in a nonprofit, like supportive housing organization, and so I work with a lot of people with mental illness and in their home, it's like a supportive housing, and so when the pandemic hit, it was like you can't stay home. You can't work from home with this one,
No,
you
you
know.
cannot.
So I was the only one on the subway for a year, probably. So I didn't have that sort of, you know, space that a lot of people did, where they learned all these new things and they wrote songs, and I'm like, anyway.
You've been busy enough, yeah.
I mean, it's okay though, because, you know, that's what I did.
Yeah.
So I didn't really, you know, I didn't have a lot of, and it was very stressful. So I gotta say, when I got home, I just kind of turned the TV off and on and vegetated. But
Yeah.
I hope to, you know, get back to all of that.
Totally understandable. Well, thank you so much for your time, Amy. It's been a pleasure catching up with you and hearing some live songs as well. And good luck when you do get out there on the road again. And we hope it includes this trip to Australia. We'd love to see you.
Okay. Thank you, John.
Thanks for your time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.